Praise the name of the Lord. Amen. We appreciate that this is the day the Lord has made, and we can even see that He has given us wonderful weather. So we thank Him for that. Our guest speaker, the chairperson of Public Service Commission of Kenya, the lady who has actually broken many glass ceilings, and you'll be hearing that later on, Professor Margaret Kobia, the Chancellor of African Nazarene University, Dr. Lambert, the Director of World Mission, Dr. Ward, the Director of Africa Region, Church of the Nazarene, and also our Chair of Trustee and Council, Dr. Philemon Chambo, members of the Board of Trustees present, Dr. and Mrs. Jones, our ANU ambassador, and people who actually worked earlier on in preparation for this university. We are all graduates today, but I want to recognize our Honorable Beatrice Elachi, who is the Chief Whip of the Senate. Most likely she has graduated in absentia. And then, among these students, I want to single out the student, the top student, Mr. Benjamin Kamincha. I know we have graduated before, top students, but Mr. Kamincha worked very hard. Innovatively, he was able to finish his schoolwork without exception and still become the top student within 2.5 years. And as if that was not enough, he went and competed for a job with 200 students also from other universities with Kenneth. Kenneth is the one which supplies all the internet connectivity for all universities in Kenya, both private and public. And our Benjamin is in charge of that. He will be recognized later on, but I wanted to single that one out. The rest of you did a wonderful job as well. Excellencies, ambassadors, and diplomats present, special invited guests, representatives of various organizations, parents and guardians, members of African Nazarene University community, alumni, and the graduating class 2016. And all protocols are observed. I want to welcome you to Africa Nazarene University 19th graduation ceremony that is themed Advancing Generation of Innovators and Entrepreneurs. Today, African Nazarene University acknowledges and celebrates the great academic strides achieved by graduating class of 2016. Today, graduates have attained a great wealth of knowledge in their respected fields of study that earn them the right to join the continuum of class of our alumni who are positively transforming the world. Class of 2016, African Nazarene University considers itself to be a premier university whose contributions to the world transforms and also echoes our mantra. What starts here transforms the world. I'm honored to stand before you our graduates to share in the special day and to celebrate what will be your first step towards transforming the world with the acquired knowledge you have received. I'm very happy to have opportunity to emphasize the importance of role of education that plays in enabling transformation and its impact in facilitating innovation and entrepreneurship. Wherever we hear of challenges facing Africa and anywhere for that matter, it is because most likely we have not used the knowledge we have, or we need more knowledge to do innovation and entrepreneurship to solve those problems. I can go on mentioning many challenges that we face in Africa. We have used many methods, but I believe if we use God, knowledge God has given us, to innovate new ways of solving problems and stop using the old-fashioned way that does not get us very far. I draw a lot of inspiration and hope for Africa from an African-American scientist named George Washington Carver, who was born into slavery in the 1860s in America, but who pursued education with determination after slavery, and the slavery was abolished in America. In his youth, Carver was told these words: "You must learn all you can, then go back into the world and give your learning back to the people." I will repeat that. You must learn all you can, then go back out into the world and give your learning back to the people. This quote had great influence on Carver and gave him impetus to learn and use education to transform the limited farm resources. Those days, all they knew is to do cotton picking. But George used his knowledge and looked at the peanuts, pecan nuts, and sweet potatoes. He indeed looked for that and found 360 ways of using this produce. Went into the market, was used by many universities those days, and today there is Carver Hall at Iowa State University, one of the primary universities in America. A slave freed, and the only thing he used is education to now not only lift himself up, but to lift others. You talk about peanut butter and peanut bars. That is where they started. So for us today, we are asking ourselves, what can your education do for Africa? How can you use it? We are in Maasai land, and we know Maasais love their cattle. And I think we have seen many times the competition of wildlife service and Maasai warriors fighting to kill lions because they have disturbed their cattle. About 4 years ago, a young man who is now studying, we passed the place where he is studying, Richard Tulele, did observation And so that when Maasais are using to guard their cattle at night, they use a torch. And the lions run away. So the young man developed a way of creating lights that surround the corral. Today, the Maasai warriors are using that instead of using the spears. And we need to find ways of solving Africa problems through new ways of technology so that, indeed, we can come with better ways of solving our problems, of perennial problems. Graduating class of 2016, Africa has many examples that can inspire you to become the George Washington cover of 21st century. All you need to do is to identify one challenge that is meaningful to you, where you can apply innovation and technology to solve problems by making things easier, more affordable, better quality, or more efficient and productive, resulting in the improvement of alleviation of poverty in our communities and our continent. Even if you don't do it, you don't know how to solve problems today, I'm sure persistence can help you break through. If you remember the Edison, he did not just create electricity overnight, but with his persistence, because he saw darkness needed light. And he continued, and he pressed on, and there was breakthrough. Today we celebrate his wonderful discovery of light among ourselves. Many Africans today are suffering from hunger and disease, or live in an environment ravaged by pollution, or are forced to travel on unsafe roads. The list of problems goes on and on. While it is important to recognize our shortcomings, when we consider these issues, we should note that challenges we face are not unique to Africa, and there is no place on earth that has solved all the problems. However, progressive nations have continued to improve on their economies and the quality of life because they have used their educated class to dare to venture into discovering ways and means of solving their problems. Winston Churchill once said that was right when he said, pessimists see difficulty in every opportunity, and optimists see opportunities in every difficult. African difficulty will only be solved by optimists and covers among us. As Africans, we understand our problems, and we should recognize these difficulties as opportunities to meet African needs. It is interesting, sometimes I see the difficulties we run away from, other people come and make discovery of them. Class of 2016, Africa's challenges are not insurmountable, and you can make a difference. You must bravely, purposefully, and optimistically look to take action with your education skills and technology you now have to develop appropriate, impactful solutions to our times, as Carver did in the last century. You must commit to make the best use of your education and find ways of solving the real problems facing us daily. And you can earn yourself a commendable prize. Even that's how actually the Nobel Prize winners are created. And I'm saying this because today you are here, and I see a lot of us coming to celebrate with you. Before you leave this arena, if you can think of ways that you are not going to be independent, that you are now going to be a resource person in Africa, you are going to be a resource person to your employer, you are going to be a resource person in your community, Africa will make headways. Your generation is the hope for Africa. Africa is of age, and despite the myriads of challenges it faces, we have to be relentless in our effort to effect sustainable and sustained progress. You need to take up a baton and champion economic development in our continent. Africa's challenges are not definitely by physical slavery. If we have anything, it's not because we are slaves the way George Washington Carver was. However, we have the slavery of mind and poverty of mind, both slavery and the poverty of mind. As I look at you, I do not see any slave among you, and I don't see anyone who is poor of any education, any knowledge. If a young man today can discover something in the heart of Maasai land and in primary school, I think we can do better with the education we have given you today. And I know there's a group of teachers here who are graduating today, and maybe on Monday you'll be in class with those students with tablets. Please inspire them to be ready to discover things that we need to solve in Africa. Utilize them appropriately with the education you have learned here. Carver freed his mind from slavery and through education, and it transformed the world by applying science and technology to staple foods. At ANU, we have furnished you with exemplary quality education, which has freed you from poverty of mind. Like in the case of Carver, we urge you to be optimistic and use the abundance of African resources in your preserve to transform the world through innovation and entrepreneurship, and to produce meaningful innovations to leave Africa a better world than you found it. At African Nazarene University, we have advocated holistic education based on our 3 core values: Christ-centered, competence, and community education. Our intention is to produce graduates who use their acquired academic excellence not only to better themselves, but to solve societal challenges that cripple economic development. We endeavor to provide training in impactful problem-solving methodologies and an education environment that offers students an opportunity to be innovative. We must want our students and alumni to be sought out by employers, like we are talking about Kamincha, and also to create jobs that will be benefit to their community, and most importantly, to our continent, Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, our students and graduates have, over the years, been innovators and entrepreneurs in their own fields of study. ANU emphasizes the importance of nurturing innovative and entrepreneurial skills in its students by encouraging active student participation in various academic forms and extracurricular activities. Class of 2016, your generation has the skill and knowledge that is needed to achieve the ambition that we have had with our graduates. We want you to build on the foundations you have acquired, and you will have a successful careers. Lastly, always remember that innovation that is not God-led and directed will not last. Do work that is good, helpful, uplifting to the nation and the world. Strive to make transformational changes that support and align with our core values of Christ-centered character, competence, and community. Therefore, always make God your source of inspiration and wisdom. Ask Him to walk with you, and you will never go wrong. Congratulations, and God bless you.